Okay, so Pravik, what I'm going to talk about is primarily divided in three things. The first is where we are, not as a company, where we are in general as a macro trend. The second is what that means for an average consumer. And the third part is really our vision of the future. And it's kind of where Marcus's talk left off about the dangers of AI and so on and so forth. So without much ado, this is where we are. We're smack dab in the middle of a lot of dystopias, whether it is through entertainment and subterfuge, whether it's through absolute control, whether it's through sheer negligence and sheer idiocracy. But this is approximately where we are and where we are going towards as a technological species. Illiteracy of technology is increasing and so on. Now, how we got here is essentially, if you see the first economic wave of the world was the Industrial Revolution driven by steam. I mean, after the Bronze Age, Iron Ages, and all of those things, we're looking at the steam age very early on, which brought upon the onset of the modern world's first economic age. Whoever owned the steam essentially owned the industry, and they owned the economics and the power of the world. Again, this is essentially about control. This is essentially about power. The second wave was moving beyond from steam to electricity. Whoever owned the electrical capabilities and the use of electricity owned the control of the world, owned the power structures of the world. And the third wave is/was the data wave. Thank you for joining us. When we look at the data wave, whoever owned the data really owned the economic and power structures of the world. But I think we are smack dab in the middle of a transition from there. It is no longer about who owns the intelligence, who owns the data in the world. It is really about what we can do with that data. It's about who owns the AI, who owns the intelligence, whether it's wetware, whether it's siliconware, whether it's any other kind of artificial intelligence. So I think we're beyond these three waves. We're right in the middle of the transition of owning of intelligence. And that yields us a lot of interesting results, from taking over what humans do best to, what humans do extremely well, but machines are catching up to it, generating physical devices, generating fashion, generating things across the board. Owning this intelligence is really where the control systems and the control structures of the world lie today. Now, what that means for the average consumer or for society at large is things like heated seat subscriptions. I mean, at BMW, you can subscribe to a heated seat for 10 euros a month. It's really good for the companies, but it's extremely poor taste for the normal consumer. This guy blew up his electric car in Sweden because the cost of repair and the cost of insurance was so high every time he drove at night. It's 20 euros a month extra for your insurance costs. So you can really use these tools to personalize economic, disincentives for the customer, exploit the customer to the highest degree. I mean, everyone has Spotify, Apple Music, maybe 3-4 other subscription services. They take away our libraries whenever they want. They censor whatever we want to see at a beck and call. And it's not my government who I elected in power. It's a random company in the middle of Silicon Valley who's doing that, censoring according to their moral standards, imposing those moral standards on me. And of course, increasing the prices of my subscription whenever they want. So it is an extremely, extremely poor taste for the consumer. And thirdly, of course, we have no privacy left. I mean, if you look at that, those are cameras inside our vehicles. And there's a famous case from last year where employees of the second largest electric car company in the world, Tesla, they were looking at, customers naked and in extremely sensitive situations and making fun of those videos inside the chat groups. These are live cases going on. So now this is where the socio-economic structures and that have reached because of the technical capabilities of artificial intelligence and distribution through internet, extremely large distribution networks. Now, what we envision is, or what we work towards, why we exist, is to build products that allow for more control of consumers, that allow for fighting back, clawing back from this paradigm. And for that, genuine ownership is key. How do we own the intelligence? How you and I can own the intelligence, not just be mere users, but be the owners of that intelligence. In the same way we owned cassettes, CDs for our music, in the same way we owned CDs, DVDs for our music, videos. The same ownership where I own that and it is mine. No one can just change it the way they want to, even video games. So that paradigm is now coming to cars, devices, and everything else. Second is the right to repairability. It's my device, it's my product, I will do what I want with it. Today we cannot even put a music system in our cars or even change our phones or repair our laptops. How do we repair and get access to the physical realm of what we've paid for? And of course, ownership of my data, access to my data, control over access to my data, true privacy. So what that yields into is essentially a system with which we can build, or rather a socio-economic paradigm through which technology should and can be seen, essentially building AI for everyone and allowing them ownership of the same. All of that to take back control. Thank you.